Okay, so we're on week 2, 8th grade DGP Friday. I had started drawing this. I had to start over because my pin broke. So, just like every week, you look at your main thing. Every sentence is going to have that horizontal line with the line going through it because every sentence has a subject and a verb. Now, you can't see my sentences up here, but you have them labeled. We know that the subject goes here and the verb goes here. And on Tuesday, we labeled the subject and the verb. Seen was the subject, so I write it in here. I like to change colors so you can see the answers. And the verb was came, so I write it in here. Now I go on to look at my next labels. Direct objects, I did not have one of those. Predicate adjectives gets added, I didn't have one of those. Predicate nominative, I didn't have one of those. I had several adverbs and a couple in an article that I'll need to add. I had a prepositional phrase that I'll need to add. So basically, seen and came are my major. Sorry, that messy line's driving me crazy. Are basically the two main parts of this sentence. So I look back up there. I know I labeled the with an article because it's describing the scene. So that makes it a modifier about scene. So I'll draw a line hanging off of scene and I'll label it the for the article that it is. Everything else in my sentence was underlined twice, so I know it's going to be over here somewhere because it's on the verb half of the sentence. Often, I said was an adverb describing when it came, so that will hang down off of here because it describes came. Back, we said describes where it came, so that'll hang down off of there. It's an adverb describing the verb. Then we have to buck. Remember, once you put those parentheses around, I'm sorry, I know you can't see where I'm pointing, but I'm pointing up here at Tuesday. Put the parentheses around it so I treat it like one word. It's a prepositional phrase. So remember, they go on this kind of little dog leg, this kind of little dog leg shape. To buck is where it came back to, right? So I have my little dog leg shape. And to was the preposition, so it goes in the preposition spot. And buck was the OP, so it goes in the OP spot. Now, I have, when I look back up at Tuesday, I have the whole to trouble him in his sleep, the infinitive phrase with the prepositional phrase inside of it. So what does the infinitive phrase describe? To trouble him in his sleep. That's why it came back, right? So it describes the verb, so it's going to have to hang down off of this line. I'm going to extend my line on out. So it's, and I need to find, how do I do infinitive phrases? Well, here's an infinitive with an object of the infinitive, but it's in the direct object spot, so that's not what I want. I don't know if they're going to give me a specific example of it somewhere else. Oh, here we go. Infinitives, right? You have your infinitive here and your object of the infinitive here. Oh, that's just an infinitive without an infinitive phrase. So my infinitive will come around the side, and then I'll do a line like this, but it's going to hang down off of. So here's how you do it. Hangs down, has the line just like a prepositional phrase, but the difference is this one has an object line. Just like if we had a direct object, we would have drawn a line right here. This infinitive has an object, so we draw a line that goes down to the line but doesn't cross it. When I look back up, to trouble was the infinitive, so it's going to be to trouble, and make it come around the corner like that. And to trouble what? Him was the infinitive object. Okay. And then I had in his sleep describes when it came back to trouble him, right? So I'm going to hang it off of here. And in what? Sleep. So in was my preposition. Sleep was my OP. And then his is the only word I don't have. Well, whose sleep was it? His. Okay. So now I check. The scene often came back to buck to trouble him in his sleep. I always check to make sure I've got every word on there. And I do, so I'm done.